So the next thing which you need to understand is here component life cycle hooks. So here the component life cycle is managed by the Angular itself. And these are the various life cycle hooks method we have inside a component like constructor, ngOnChanges, ngOnInit, ngDoCheck, ngAfterContentInit. This is for content projection. ngAfterContentCheck, that is for again for content projection. After viewInit for the view child, and after view check for the again view child. And then finally we having the ngOnDestroy. That is similar to the destructor we having inside a class. So when it is coming to the methods specific to a simple component, so we deal with these methods: constructor, onChanges, which is going to invoke every time whenever you are doing any change in the input parameter. So this ngOnChanges will call if you're willing to track the changes in the input parameter. So here for each change, this method is going to be called. ngOnInit we use for initializing the component. And this method is going to called only once. It is not going to call again and again like to the ngOnChanges, because ngOnChanges method is going to call again and again. So every time when you will change an input parameter, it is going to call, but ngOnInit is going to be called only one time. And it is going to be used to call the remote API. I like to fetch the data from the server and initialize your component. ngDoCheck is called every time whatever the changes you are doing on the page. So that is coming here from the ngDoCheck. But ngDoCheck we don't use commonly. It is only useful whenever you are going to change the default change detection algorithm of the Angular, because Angular by default having its change detection technique. If you are changing them, then ngDoCheck is doing that. ngOnDestroy is similar to the destructor. So if you're willing to clean anything at the component class label, so let's say you might be added some subscriber for subscribing to the services. And now you want to unsubscribe them. So there, this ngOnDestroy method will help you. If you are having the child component, so in that case, these events are going to be called. So ngAfterContentInit is going to invoke when a component we projected using ngContent. We having ngAfterContentCheck. This is again for change detection. So what are the changes you are doing at the projected component? So those changes are going to be checked in this content checked method. It is again to deal with the change detection mechanism in Angular. So CD is a way to digest the changes we are doing on the UI page. So ultimately, what are the changes you are doing on the UI? They are going to sync to the component class. Even what are the changes you are doing in the component class, they are going to sync with the UI. So for that purpose, we having the change detector. So change detection, if you want to change, if you want to modify, then checked method are helpful over there. So content checked, view checked are going to be used by the Angular change detection mechanism. And one more thing to remember, the hooks are only called for the components, not for the directive. If remembered, when we did the directive class, I just shown the way how we can create a highlight directive. So to that highlight directive, the component hooks are not applicable. So component hooks are only applicable to the component only, not to the directive.